Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon for this special occasion, an exciting occasion as we welcome Renee Hellert to Kutztown University as the new athletic director for Golden Bear Athletics. Today's event, we have some Kutztown University representatives with us, along with Renee. Joining us today from Kutztown University, Dr. Kenneth S. Hawkinson, president of the university, and Matt Santos, Vice President for University Relations and Athletics, and then Renee Hellert, new Athletic Director for Kutztown University Athletics. A little bit about how today's introductory press conference is going to go for Renee. We're going to have opening remarks from President Hawkinson, from Matt Santos, and from Renee. And following their opening remarks, we will open the floor to media for a question and answer session. If media are interested and have their question ready and they're ready to proceed, we ask them to use the reactions button down on the menu bar of Zoom and use the raise hand function through there. And so right now, I would like to turn things over to Matt Santos, Vice President for University Relations and Athletics, to get the press conference started.
Thank you, Matt. Today is an exciting day for Golden Bear Athletics, and I want to thank our student athletes, alumni, fans, media, and entire campus community for joining us for the virtual introduction of Renee Hellert as the new athletic director at Kutztown University. Before I speak about Renee, I want to offer encouragement to our student athletes, coaches, and all members of the KU Athletics family. We know it's been a long year for everyone, but the future looks positive for returning to normal. And for us, that means having our 22 athletic teams and student athletes competing on the playing venues. If the snow will just melt, we're just a week away from our first athletic contest in a year. I want to thank Michelle Gober, interim athletic director, for her leadership during this challenging academic year. With Renee, Michelle, and Assistant Vice President Amy Sant, the department leadership will be in great hands going forward. The search for a new athletic director at KU was an extensive 5-month nationwide search, which involved many across our campus. I want to thank our search committee for the countless hours they put in on the search. Our chair, athletic trainer Brandon Nolt, and the sports medicine staff consisting of Rennie Sacco, Jack Entrikin, and Martha Anderson. Sherry Weber, our men's and women's tennis coach, our faculty athletic representative, Dr. Jason Lanter, Dr. Michelle Vaughn from our sports management faculty, and our Assistant Vice President for Athletic Resources and Recreational Services, Amy Sant, as well as Tammy Wirt, my executive assistant, for her support in keeping the process on track. The committee conducted 2 rounds of interviews, beginning with 16 candidates before bringing the finalists to campus to meet with the head coaches, athletic support staff, student athlete leaders, the campus community, President Hawkinson, and me. It was very clear during the interview process that the successful candidate, Renee Hellert, has a passion for student athletes. It is also clear that her leadership style will bring a strong fit for the KU Athletic Department's mission of mirroring the qualities of the NCAA Division II philosophy. That includes focusing on a strong academic and athletic experience for the student athlete, as well as community service and preparation for postgraduate success. When personally speaking with Renee's references in the final stages of the search process, the phrases and statements I heard consistently were as follows: hard worker, personable, empathetic, inclusive, collaborative, fair, candid, confident but egoless, loyal, organized, prepared. One of her former head coaches said, "You don't find a person more dependable or more invested while being both positive and passionate." Renee's hiring today is historic for Kutztown University in the sense that we have never had a woman lead both the men's and women's athletic programs on a continuous basis. And while I mentioned that historic aspect, the qualities that Renee brings to her first athletic director job provide the necessary ingredients for success, no matter who is sitting in the lead chair or the institution where they are sitting. Renee, congratulations and welcome. We look forward to greatness as you lead a talented group of student athletes, coaches, and athletic support staff, and interact with the best fans in the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference. At this time, I want to introduce our president and thank him for his unwavering support of Golden Bear Athletics. Here is Dr. Kenneth S. Hawkinson.
Thank you, Matt, and welcome to the Kutztown University community to this virtual introduction of our new athletic director, Renee Hellert. I often share that our Golden Bear Athletics program is an integral part of our campus. This is evident through the participation of more than 450 student athletes, the success of our student athletes that they have on our playing venues, in the classroom and in the community, the attention our athletic program brings to our university, the excellent mentoring and leadership provided by the coaches, and the opportunities athletics provides for campus life, from student attendance at games to their participation in associate entities such as marching band, the dance team, and the cheer team. An entity of this magnitude requires strong leadership, and Renee Hellert is an excellent choice to serve as the next leader to grow the strong tradition of Kutztown University athletics. Renee has displayed a deep passion for the success of student athletes, both in and out of the classroom throughout her career. Her tireless work ethic and desire to succeed will benefit our student athletes, coaches, athletic staff, and the entire campus community. Renee has spent the last 4 years as the Associate Director of Athletics and Senior Woman Administrator, SWA, at NCAA Division III Moravian College in nearby Bethlehem. Before moving to the Lehigh Valley, she served in various administrative roles while at New England College, her alma mater, from 2002 to 17. At Moravian, Renee's primary area of focus are compliance, budgets, and assisting with the supervision of the Greyhounds coaching staff. She provides leadership and strategic vision for the department as a member of its senior team, while also serving as the Deputy Title IX Director for Athletics. In 15 years at New England College, Renee spent time as the Coordinator of Support Services, Director of Sports Information, Associate Athletic Director, and SWA. She has also held adjunct faculty positions at both New England College and Moravian, teaching sport and recreation courses. In addition, Renee has taken on leadership and committee appointments at regional and national levels over the last 2 decades. She was co-chair of the NCAA Division III Softball Championship Committee from 2018 to 20, before being elevated to chair for the 2021 season. Renee also chaired the NCAA Division III Women's Ice Hockey Championship Committee from 2014 to 15. A native of Westerly, Rhode Island, Renee played 4 seasons of basketball at New England College, graduating summa cum laude with a Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration and Sports and Recreation Management in 2001. She went on to earn her Master's of Science degree in Business Organizational Management from that school in 2002. Renee, congratulations and welcome to Kutztown University. I present to you the new athletic director of Kutztown University, Renee Hellert.
Thank you, President Hawkinson and Vice President Matt Santos, for those amazing words. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm sure I'll say excited a lot. But of course, I'd like to thank everyone who's joining us today, everyone in the KU community, and in the media. I'd first just start with thanking, again, President Hawkinson and Vice President Matt Santos and the search committee for the opportunity to become the next athletic director at Kutztown University. In the last 24 hours, the outpouring of support and welcome from the Kutztown campus has been extraordinary, and it reinforces the feelings of community I experienced throughout the search process. I'm grateful for the support of the coaches and administrators that I've worked with throughout my career, both at New England College and Moravian College. I've had amazing mentors who've given me the growth opportunities I needed to prepare me for this opportunity at Kutztown. Kutztown Athletics has a tradition of success, both athletically and academically, and I'm looking forward to continuing this success while working with our coaches and our athletic staff to continue to elevate and grow our department. It's clear in the interview process that the coaches and the athletic staff at Kutztown are committed to the student athlete experience and to educating and preparing our athletes not only for competition, but for success in their future after graduation. I'm looking forward to getting on campus and being fully engaged with the KU community, both the athletic department and external to our department. I'm excited to cultivate relationships on campus and identify ways to work together to benefit our student athletes and create an environment of teamwork. So I'm very excited again, and I appreciate the time today. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. At this time, we'd like to open the floor for media question and answer session. We ask that you please unmute yourself when you're speaking, and to get in the queue to ask a question, please use the raise hand function feature in Zoom. You can find that by clicking the reactions button from the bottom menu bar and then raising hand. I see Rich Scarcella from the Red Eagle has his hand raised, so I'd like to offer Rich the opportunity to ask the first question. Rich?
Thanks, Matt. Renee, congratulations on the job. I know the people who hired you had a lot of nice things to say about you, but my question is, what do you think your strengths are and why did you want to pursue this position?
Absolutely. I think my strengths are really, I'm a servant leader. I'm definitely there to serve the coaches and the student athletes, and I'm looking forward to that opportunity. I'm very inclusive, and really working together is a priority to me, both across campus, like I said, and then within our athletic department. I think that's one of my biggest strengths. And then, I'm sorry, what was the second question?
That's okay. Why did you want to pursue this job?
Oh, right. Yeah. Great question. Honestly, I was really interested. It's obviously close. So I'm very big fan of the Lehigh Valley. So I'm very excited to be able to stay in the Valley and take advantage of this leadership opportunity. I've been an associate athletic director for several years. I've worked really hard in building my resume and really on the growth and taking advantage of growth opportunities from my amazing mentors. And this was an opportunity to be a leader, to come into a department that has a rich tradition of success, again, both athletically and academically. But there was clearly a commitment from our senior team, from President Hawkinson and Vice President Matt Santos. There's a clear commitment to athletics, and they value athletics. It's clear that they value the student athletes athletically, but also academically. So I was really excited to join somewhere where there's potential for growth and potential for strengthening the department and making something that's already special even more special.
We have two questions waiting. Next, we'll go with Keith Groller from the Morning Call, followed by Lauren Gudnick from the Keystone. Keith?
Congratulations, Renee, first and foremost. That's my alma mater out there, so I have a little partiality to the Golden Bears. Just want to get your thoughts on the challenges. I think we're in an interesting time, obviously, whether it's Division I, II, III, whatever, community colleges. Very challenging time for colleges, for athletic programs in those colleges. What do you see as some? I mean, we lost the year basically with sports. I believe we lost a lot of students across the board, but just your thoughts on some of the challenges you face in taking over this job.
Thank you, Keith. Really, like, challenge across college athletics, like you said, is COVID-19 and ensuring that we're getting our student athletes back to participating, back to competition. That's it, but doing it in a safe way. So I think that is definitely a challenge across the board, no matter where you're the athletic director at this time. So that's going to definitely be a priority when I get on campus, just ensuring to get those student athletes. They're used to competing. They're used to practicing all the time. They're used to, being active and engaged in competing. And it's definitely straining on their mental health not to be doing what they're used to. So really, that's, again, a priority to focus on. I think that's a challenge, again, no matter where you're the athletic director. So that's right now, definitely a priority. I think another one is just continuing. My goals are to continue to build that Golden Bear brand. I think it's going to be really important to ensure our department is active and engaged member of the PSAC and at the national level. So, I'm competitive. I want to win, and I want to be competing for conference and national championships. But we're going to do that the right way.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Lauren Gudnick from the Keystone, followed by another question from Rich Scarcella. Go ahead, Lauren.
Hi, Renee. I just want to say congratulations, and I'm very honored to be here. I am the head sports editor for the Keystone News, along with on the bowling team. I'm in my junior year. Along with what Keith said, I was wondering, since I know you're walking into being an athletic director with COVID going on, what are your plans for helping teams adjust their practices during an era of social distancing and ensuring the safety of the students?
Yeah, Lauren, great question. Really, we have to look at obviously the CDC in the state of Pennsylvania and make sure that we're following those protocols first and foremost. And obviously the PSAC is going to have their regulations as well. So really it's just making sure that we're keeping our student athletes safe, making sure we're following the NCAA resocialization in regards to testing and social distancing, and working with the coaches and our athletic trainers to make sure we're doing things, again, the right way, making sure that our practice plans are going to keep our athletes safe, that we're competing at a safe level, that we have all the policies and procedures in place for traveling, for eating, for locker rooms, for hosting games. So there's a lot of administrative work that needs to be done on the back end. But again, it's something that is possible. We're doing it now at Moravian. We have been competing and doing it well. And so I know it's possible and doing it safely. So I know that's possible as well.
Rich Scarcella, go ahead with another question.
Renee, you mentioned a couple times how important inclusion is to you. And I was just wondering where increasing and improving the diversity among staff and athletes ranks among your priorities.
I think diversity is important. I think as I get on campus at KU, I'll have a better understanding of how diverse. I know we do actually have a pretty diverse student body population. So really just seeing how diverse we are athletically. Haven't looked at the rosters deeply to see, again, where our diversity stands in athletics and how we're doing. I think it's going to be really important to have conversations. I think that's some of the hardest things to do. So really make sure that we're having the conversation with our coaching staff regarding diversity, having conversations with our student athletes about diversity and how they feel and how comfortable they are in the environment that they're in, and really getting a feel about how we're doing now with diversity. I think diversity in hiring is very important. It should be a campus-wide initiative, and I'm sure it is. So I think just making sure that we're casting the net wide, we're advertising our open positions in the right place, and really making a conscious effort to interview when we're in the interview process to really include a diverse pool of applicants.
Keith Groller and Lauren Gudnick both have second questions, so we'll follow this same path through. Keith, go ahead with your next question.
Okay, I have two, and I'll turn it over to Lauren. What did you learn? Obviously, Morning Call covers Moravian, followed those programs over there for years. What did you learn from people like Mary Beth Burke, who is the AD and obviously one of the great coaches in Division III history? And also the second question is, you said you love the Lehigh Valley. What can we do to maybe get more kids? I don't know what it is, but I always feel like our Lehigh Valley kids, we have a ton of schools here in the Valley, why they do not look more closely at the opportunities offered at Kutztown. I mean, it's a short ride. I mean, it's a very short ride. I tend to think that they think Kutztown's on the other side of Reading or something like that, when it's really, for most spots in the Valley, it's no more than a half hour, but just your thoughts on those two things.
The first question is a great question. I'm really excited to answer it. So Mary Beth Burke, our athletic director at Moravian, she's also the women's basketball coach, has been a huge mentor for me and really given me the opportunity to grow and develop as an athletic director. It's been amazing. They've done amazing things at Moravian. I can't talk about them enough and how great their athletic programs are and how great their academic programs are. And I think she has a lot to do with the success of the athletic department, pretty much 100%. And I think the most I've learned from her is a lot about mentoring, a lot about leadership. She is a great leader. She communicates well with our coaches. She has great relationships. She's an amazing relationship builder. And she does that really well. And she really does work off character. I think one of the biggest things I learned as I search for coaches there, we do a lot of, when we fill positions, I was really chair of a lot of those searches, and she was a great mentor. And I look a lot at the resume. I was looking a lot at the resume and where they've been and the schools they were at and the records they had. And Mary Beth is the best at judging character. She's definitely just amazing. She can judge a person in about 30 seconds. And I think that's a lot of experience, but a lot of she just has a really good feeling for people. And she's a really good person. So thank you for that question. I'm excited to talk about Coach Burke and what she means to me. Lehigh Valley, Kutztown has to do better in the Lehigh Valley if we're not already. Again, I haven't looked at where our student athletes are coming from. I know at Moravian, we spend a lot of time looking at that, and 60% of our student athletes are from Lehigh Valley. So really about talking to the coaches and seeing, is there an obstacle there that's not allowing us to bring in more local student athletes, and how can we attack those obstacles? What certain sports want to recruit more from Lehigh Valley? Are we looking at specific programs in the Valley and we're not getting, is there a reason why we're not getting recruits from those areas? And is that something that we can manage on our end and maybe improve to make Kutztown more attractive to those students?
Thank you.
Next, we have another question from Lauren Gudnick, followed by another from Rich Scarcella. Go ahead, Lauren.
One of my questions, I kind of have two, if that's okay. If not, I can wait. But it would be, how will you allocate the funds to different sports? So for example, with fundraising and stuff, I know that it all kind of goes into one pot and then you have to request permission, or will you allow different teams to have their own separate? Because I know sometimes you might not get all the money that you fund.
Yes, Lauren, that's a great question. I haven't gotten there and dug into the budgets and how they're managed. I think that's going to be obviously something I'm going to need to do in my first 30 days. Really look at how the money is budgeted out to the sports, how fundraising works there. And I think, it's important to realize that Title IX does come into play when you're talking about fundraised dollars and allocation. So ensuring that the student athlete experience is an equitable experience is very important to me and very important to Kutztown.
And if it's okay, I have one more. It was, what is the most rewarding thing about becoming KU's new AD, and as they mentioned before, the first woman to lead both men and women's teams?
The most rewarding thing, I would say, is the opportunity to become a leader. I am a leader on our campus at Moravian, but the opportunity to become an athletic director is very exciting for me personally and professionally. So I'm really looking forward, again, to hitting the ground running and being active and engaged at Kutztown. What was the first part of the question? Sorry, Lauren.
No, that's okay. It was just, about what was rewarding to you and, being the first woman to run both men's and women's.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very excited to be the first female athletic director to run both men's and women's programs. I think that's a testament to my mentors. That I've had some really strong female mentors and some really strong female coaches that I've worked with. And now I see it as my role. That's my role, and my goal is to continue the mentoring forward, right? And to really identify and be there and support females and females who want to be move forward in college athletics, whether that's coaches and staff members we have on staff at Kutztown, students at Kutztown, or just within our community.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And welcome to KU.
Thank you so much.
Renee, next up, we have another question from Rich Scarcella. Go ahead, Rich.
Thanks, Matt. Lauren, you took part of my question away, so that was a good job. I just want to say, you mentioned fundraising, or Lauren mentioned fundraising. You've obviously been a very successful student athlete back in your playing days. How do you view fundraising as a correlation to success on the court or on the field? And I know the disparity between the East, the PSAC East, and the West has been an issue for many, many years when it comes to scholarship money. So how do you view that, the correlation? Is it very critical? Is it a high priority for you?
Rich, I do think it's very critical, and it is a high priority. I think once I get here and I look at those budgets and I really see the allotment of money and how it's being spent, we're really going to have to dig deep and honestly talk to the coaches and see where they see opportunity and how additional funding can help that. And I think that's going to be a big deal, fundraising. And I've done it at Moravian. I've had some success there. I know it's different alumni group. I understand that, but I think really just working to engage the alumni is going to be very important and vital to the success and to make us more competitive in the PSAC.
Thank you.
Doesn't look like we have any other questions at this time. If anybody does have a final question they'd like to ask of Renee or Matt Santos, please raise your hand now. If not, we'll conclude today's virtual press conference. We'd like to thank everybody for attending today. You can find the official release on Renee's hiring on our official athletics website, kubears.com. And with that, again, welcome, Renee, and thank you, everybody, for attending. Have a good rest of your Friday.
Thank you, Matt.